Hello! Oh, we don't need that light doing that crazy stuff. I've forgotten I put that on. Hello, hello, hello. Pelican, Pammy, Jane, hi guys. Hope you're all well. It's a bit warm today. It's a tad warm. If you can hear a strange buzzing in the sound background, it's my fan. Deal with it, I ain't switching it off. It's too hot, okay? It was 30 degrees earlier, it's cooled off to 28 now. In about half an hour, the sun will start falling down on the front, behind the back of the roof, and all this will cool down out here, and hopefully we'll have some breeze. But Phoenix, hi there. So yeah, sorry guys, but you're just gonna have to deal with the fan. Hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. Okay, if you are deaf, the closed caption, turn it on, it's working. And oh, if you are watching later, part of my zombie crew, because you are not live, get it? Okay, never mind. If you are watching the replay, you can check down below. There will be timestamps for the whole video once I've finished. So if you want to skip the chatty bits or skip to the good part and come back to the chatty bits, you can do that. Hey Cody, sorting paper. You on a scrapbooking binge? Sun's out, paper's out. So, today's sketchbooking session is going to be very chill. Hey John, zombie crew made you laugh. Oh well, as long as I've entertained one person, my job is done. I used to call them the replay crew, but Emily D. Baker uses that, and she's got like exponentially more followers than me, so I will bow to Emily, let her have that one. I like zombie crew anyway. I think it's funny. You're not live. I mean, I could have gone with undead as well, but I don't think YouTube would like that. Zombie crew, I can get away with. Anyway, today we're going to do a chill sketchbook session. If you don't know what to draw and you want to join me, grab your pen. You only need a pen. Any pen, it doesn't matter, just a pen you like to draw with. Or even a pen you've never drawn with before, it really doesn't matter. Don't make it complicated if it's hot. A pen, something to draw on, paper, book, whatever it is. And you will also need to grab your bag of stuff. Doesn't matter what bag of stuff you grab. It could be a handbag, it could be a lunch bag, it could be, as long as it's got stuff in it. Okay, just any bag. Pencil case, really doesn't matter. And what you're going to do is dump the stuff out of your bag onto the table fairly willy-nilly. Give yourself room to draw, obviously. But you're just going to create a pile of stuff out of all your stuff that's in your bag. Doesn't matter what it is. Empty bag of crisps, receipts, doesn't matter. Chuck it all on there. Kind of move it around a little bit. I mean, if if your water bottle's in there and it's massive like mine is, then stick it at the back. If you've got stuff in a pencil case but not much else like me, then take your stuff out of your pencil case. I can actually twist it slightly. See, this is my setup here. So this is all the stuff that I had in my bag. All of this goes in my pencil case. This actually goes in a bag that's underneath, but you can't see it. And then I had this journal in there as well, which I've just popped my other water bottle in. So I can stand my journal up at the back there, and I've got a nice little conglomeration of stuff. But I haven't organised it. I'm not trying to create a still life here. I've just dumped the contents of my bag out on the desk. The reason I've done it is because, and I'm telling you this so that you can have a go as well if you want to. One, I want something easy to draw. Two, I'm obsessed with Danny Gregory at the moment, and his way of drawing. I love this. Just this. This is awesome. Because it's fast and easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's fast. You only need one pen to do it. You don't have to worry about size or ratio or perspective or anything like that. You just draw. And then I also wanted to, because I've been out journaling. I have got I've pulled my sketch bag out of storage where it's been for like 2 years, 2.5 years nearly. I have just a very, very cheap, oh, it's here actually, I can show you. Super, super cheap little fold up. It actually folds up into itself. So this is like a little, so if I'm taking my posh bag, I can use my posh bag, but I can put this inside and it all folds up into this little pouch and I can put that in my bag. So if it rains and my bag isn't waterproof, I can whip this out and chuck my bag in, and this is waterproof. Fits my sketchbook, my big sketchbook. I usually have like my phone and keys in here, sorry. And obviously if I take a card or some money or anything like that. My keys, I have a big clip that I put my keys on and I clip them in there and I chuck them in there. I've got my binoculars and my magnifying glass that I throw in there where they're easy to access. My water bottle goes in here. I haven't unloaded this one because this is just a strap with a whacking great carabiner clip on that I use for, I actually put this around my waist like a belt and I hook the dog's leads to it so that I can draw without having to hold the lead, because it's very hard to hold a lead and draw at the same time. Or I can like clip them to the bench or whatever. You know, I can clip them to stuff and they don't go wandering. And that's it. That's all I use. It's a really comfortable little bag. It's super lightweight. Sometimes you get a backpack and it's heavier than the stuff that you put in it, and I'm not into that. I'm lazy. I need a lightweight backpack. So that's the bag I turfed out. I have been going out doing some sketching. We'll come back to this in a second. Let me show you what I've done. I haven't done a lot because I've only been going out the last few days. I had a lot of stuff to do with the website, but I did this one the other day, which I really like. This is a very thin pen that I actually have another one over here. It's just this one. It's just a regular kind of thin writing pen. I just happen to really like it. It's permanent ink. And I pulled some Ohuhu markers in the colours of the buildings that I see around a lot. So I pulled these two, a light and a dark. These look the same on camera, but they're not. This was much more orange and this one's more sandy. And then I got a very light one. This one actually should be down here. It goes with this one. So I've got the two reds, the two golds. I've got a couple of like a cool, a warm, and a neutral kind of sandstone sort of colour. I've got a dark grey, a greenish grey, cool grey for shadows, only because I don't have a purple grey. I would have preferred a purple grey, but actually the green works well with the red, so I'm okay with it. And then I got a proper green because a lot of I like to draw abandoned buildings, and a lot of our abandoned buildings have greenery growing out of them, like trees and stuff, so I put a green in there. I've also got, I pulled some, this was a moment of genius. Pause for the moment of genius, okay? I put these over here because they're in a different bag. I pulled some just rainbow colours because there's always going to be a bright red sign or a bright yellow cone or something like that that you need to do. But I went through my Brook Funners. I like the Brook Funners because they're square. They're very, very soft like Prismacolors, so they go over just about everything and you don't need to worry about blending or going over stuff over and over again. They just put down a really heavy line. and they're square. So you put them on a flat surface or a slightly angled surface and they don't roll off. Hey Luna! They don't roll off. So, yeah. I distracted myself there because I started reading chat. Stop reading chat. Look over here. So, the Brook Funners, I found the Brook Funners that go with each pencil. So, like, now, how do you know which pencil goes with which pen? You put a label on it. Genius! I'm a genius! I'm a bloody genius! So R26, this colour, goes with that pen. Because sometimes you don't want just a flat pen. You want a bit of texture on there, right? And I was going to do this next to them so I can see what the pencil looks like on its own and what it looks like going over the other thing. I haven't labelled any of these, they're just colours. But yeah, I've got pencils that match all of these. I'm a genius. So those are in a separate case. My drawing stuff is in my pencil case here. The one that's on the stretchy elastic and goes over the front of my book so that it clips to my book. I've just got my markers and my pencils. I just put them in a couple of Ziploc bags. Bun turned me on to this method of storage things because I like to see what the hell I'm looking at. I don't like bumbling around inside a dark cavern of stuff looking for a pencil. So Ziploc freeze bags, guys. The freeze bags are stronger, so get the freeze bags. Also, they have the gusset at the bottom, which makes them better for holding a lot of equipment. The reason this is labelled, I don't normally label them, but these look exactly the same as the Crayola Super Tips. So I just stuck a bit of washi tape on one so I know which one's the acrylic and which one's the Super Tips. But yeah, super easy way of carrying stuff about. So I've got my pencils in one, I've got my Ohuhu markers in the other, so I can pull one out at a time or both or whichever, and that's it. That's all I need. So this was done with the Ohuhu markers, and the only other stuff that I've added other than this, I used this pen, I used those, I didn't use all of those, but I used some of those, and the only other thing I did was I have a white gel pen and a silver gel pen. I don't know what it's like where you live, but where I live, almost all security cameras on buildings are silver. I don't know why, but they are. And they don't stand out if you don't colour them. See how this stands out? You wouldn't see it otherwise. They almost always reflect the light because they're circular. And I've also got a white gel pen. So, you know, just adding little bits of shine to things. We always need a white gel pen. Even like these white shutters, leaving them the colour of the paper looked like I hadn't coloured them in. So I used the lightest colour that I had. I think I used this. Yeah, the warm grey, because these are cool colours. I used the warm grey to colour them in, and then when it was dry I went over it with a gel pen, so now it looks like it's coloured in rather than just ignored. So yeah, that's what else I used. That was it, and I loved this. I loved it. Although I like to draw in a big book a lot of the time, when I'm urban sketching, actually I prefer smaller book. It's harder to hold, but I'll show you in a minute. I like to take up the whole page, but if you use a bigger book and you take up the whole page, whoosh. And that's what happens to me. Everything gets out of control. I cannot do that thing where you use a bigger book and you draw several small things on a page. I just can't do it. My brain doesn't work like that. Anyway, this is going to go over here. I've only done that one in that one. That was from the other day. And then I did these two. Sorry, that was a... it's not a big secret that I live in Stoke-on-Trent in the UK, in the Potteries. It's pretty much where all pottery used to come from in the UK, except Milton ware. The big thick brown tankard type milk jug things. Those don't come from here, the stoneware, but bone china, fine china, all that kind of stuff, all comes from where I live in the Potteries. That's why it's called the Potteries. Or that's why it's known as the Potteries. I don't make a secret of it because I literally was one of the founding members of Urban Sketchers Stoke-on-Trent. It's kind of hard to disguise where you live when you are on the internet sketching with an Urban Sketchers group and you own the group. I'm not actually in the group anymore, not because it's not a good group, it is a really good group, but because the times that they go out places clashes when I'm teaching. So, plus they tend to go out early in the morning, and I don't have a car anymore, so it's really hard for me to get to places. So I don't go, unless they're sketching in Burslem, which is near where I live, if they're in one of the parks around here or something like that. Or if they're in the town, I will walk down there and go and join them. But I don't generally go with them now. Because it's hard for me to get there. But I've always had an interest in where I live and the abandoned buildings. Because we are post-industrial revolution here. Post the grand age of the pottery. Post the grand age of pretty much anything. Post the grand age of everything that used to happen before technology, Spitfires were made up the road from here, and I'm fascinated with urban buildings. I'm fascinated with abandoned buildings. I love drawing architecture, but I'm also interested in the history and the lives of the people and all that kind of stuff. So for me, it's a bit more than just urban sketching. I like to do the research. You live in Bradwell? No way. Oh, we'll have to meet up in Newcastle sometime, if you want to. We'll have to do an urban sketching date in Newcastle. Loads of places to draw in Newcastle. I haven't been to Newcastle I don't go to Newcastle anymore. I tend to go to Tunstall now. Because it's nearer to me. Wow. Cool. That's really cool. Do you follow do you know Curly Hair and Daisies on Instagram? She's from around here as well. Her boyfriend lives in Mocop, actually. Yeah, so I started with this. I found this really interesting building, didn't know what it was, but these arches, I've seen these arches before. There's a place near where I live that has double wide arches like this, and it's an old fire station, and I thought, hang on a minute. I wonder if this is some kind of old entryway. I wonder if this used to be an entryway. Well, I looked it up. It was built in 1913. It says 1913 over the door. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. Back in 1913, weren't fire things... They were either little, almost like a milk float, or they were horse-drawn in a lot of places. So I thought, well, maybe the single wide was a firehouse. Well, off I went, and yea, verily, I found out it was a firehouse. It was built in 1913, as the plate shows. It was operational from 1914 until 1926, and then it was decommissioned due to the local fire service restructure when they got full-size fire engines with ladders. I was right! Wow! So, yeah, this was replaced with the big fire station up in Hanley, and this was decommissioned and turned into offices. But they kept the facade. This little entranceway is like basically the garage, if you like, where the carts were. it was turned into a shop, and then all the building on this side was turned into offices. So yeah, that was a really interesting little bit of history, and I found it because I got off the bus at a different bus stop to where I normally do, and I looked across the road and I went, oh, what's that? And I walked across and I walked down, and there we go. There was this little thing on the corner. It's for those local, it's Welch Street in Stoke, in Stoke-on-Trent city centre, not Hanley, actual Stoke, where the post office is, just down from the Minster. So the Minster is there, and you go down and round that way, and the post office is here, and it's the next left is Welch Street, opposite, I think it's Armadillo, used to be Booth's Sports Centre, now it's Armadillo Gambling or something, I don't know. It's a big blue sign that says Armadillo. I think it's a bookies. And this is just on that road there. So I took my sketchbook down there and drew it, and I really enjoyed it. And then these two were done as well, different day. This is a school near where I live, and this is an old post office, the old post office in Burslem. Now, this old post office, there's a little bit of stuff here, and then there's a big building here that used to be Josiah Wedgwood's house. Last week I was talking about the town hall and the bus station. Well, the town hall is there. The old bus station is here. It's now Market Square again. There's a road here and a road here. The post office is there. There's a little block of something there, and then this is Josiah Wedgwood's house. And then over here is the Red Lion. Red Lion in Tunstall? Red Lion in Burslem? Anyone? Red Lion in Burslem? Mean anything to anybody? Got no Robbie Williams fans in the house? This is the pub that Robbie Williams' parents used to own. The back of the pub goes round like this, and his bedroom was on that side of the house. And directly from the Red Lion, across this little building here, what you can see is the tower on top of the town hall, and on the top of the tower is an angel, and that angel is what the song Angel is about. It's not about whatever it is that people make up. He could see that from his bedroom as a kid. So there you go. There's loads of these old buildings in Burslem, and I absolutely love going down there on the bus and just wandering around drawing them. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, it's a bit difficult to take the dogs with me, so I have to go on a day when I'm not taking the dogs. So, anyway, this is a local school. Oh, sorry, the old post office is on Wedgwood Street, and it was actually built as a post office by Josiah Wedgwood. It's part of the complex. The buildings I drew last week were all Wedgwood buildings as well. Basically, what I discovered from this little venture was that, the Red Lion's a pub. Specifically, this one is a pub that Robbie Williams' dad used to own, or parents used to run, actually. This entire road is full of amenities that were built by Josiah Wedgwood for his workers, including the road where I live and the entire park that I live by. So he basically built Burslem. It existed here before, but all of this side of Burslem, he built amenities for all his workers. He built schools, he built post offices, he built theatres, he built office places, he even built a place for the miners. Because the miners were adjacent to, obviously, you're going to have kilns, you have to have miners, right? So the guys who worked down the pits, he had offices built for them, and or you know, warehouses and stuff where they could go. This is one of the schools that he built. My house was built in 1898 as one of the overseers' houses. It's a end of terrace house, which is prime real estate in the UK. Terraces are like brownstones. So you have a block like that of all these houses next to each other. And the ones on the end are semi-detached houses rather than terraces. And they're usually a little bit bigger. And that's... I live in a house like that on the end. And those are the overseers' houses. And then all the workers lived in houses in between. Anyway. So this is one of the schools. I haven't done any research on this school yet, but I will. And I'm thinking that this kind of thing, even drawing little maps of where it is and, you know, little stories like this would be fun to turn into journal pages like this. So it's like a history of where I live. I'm really into this idea. I think it's really cool. I've got quite a few sketches in here already that I've done stuff. You know, I looked up who owned this and, you know, who ran it and everything else. I'd like to do a bit more. And I could see this becoming... Luna, we're all journalers. All of us. That's what we do here. We journal. We make art. We do all of it. So this is... I want to keep like a chronicle. And I found it interesting because the front of this building, the Price Kensington building, not long ago, pre-pandemic, but it still doesn't feel like long ago, the whole of the front facade was coming away. So literally the whole... I'm going to do this in pencil because I don't want to keep it in this book. But the building is like this, right, from the side. The facade of the building is there, and literally the facade of the building was like that. And it was held on with a few bits of cable ties. And this was all knocked down. They took it away. So all that's left is the shell of the building behind. And all of this is gone. Well, 4 years ago, we had a meetup for urban sketchers at that very place. And I painted the front of that building 4 years ago when it was still fully intact. Then there was a bad fire. Then the building started falling down and the local council took the owners to court and said, this is a grade 2 listed building. You're supposed to look after it. They fined them £100,000, took the building off them. And instead of fixing it, because heritage, they just knocked down the front of the building. Said it was dangerous because this is a road. This is a main road here. And there was no way to salvage it without blocking off the main road for a long period of time. Typical council. Anyway, yeah, all of this, if you go down here, this is a bridge over the canal. The canal runs down here. There's a bridge there as well. And you go over the bridge and down here, and all of this is down the back there. So this here is the back of that. It's all connected. And I drew that I painted that place 4 years ago before it had its unfacelift, and now I can go back and do it again now that it's been demolished or half demolished. So it's kind of a hybrid between, I mean, I enjoy nature journaling, but I don't enjoy crawling around on my knees looking at small details and stuff like that. I'm not that kind of nature journaler. If I see a cool bird, I'll draw a cool bird. Or if I see a cool flower or something, I'll draw it. I have no problem with that, but I'm not strictly a nature journaler. I'm also not really an urban sketcher because that's not all I do. I do all sorts of things when I go out. I draw a lot of people when I go out. I go to a lot of rural areas, you know, all sorts of things. And I'm interested in the history. So I thought, let's combine it all and turn it into kind of a history journal ongoing experiment type thing. Why not, right? The good thing about this is if it's raining, I can always go inside some of these buildings because a lot of them are open, and you can go in and look around them and stuff. Especially if you happen to know the local committee key holders, which I do. So, you know, I can get a couple of sketches together or organise an event for Urban Sketchers and just say, hey, I'm going here and they're letting me in if any of you want to go. That kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this idea, and I think it's something I want to pursue. I'm just trying to get together in my head. At the moment, I'm going through a big experimentation phase. As you can see, every single page is different. It looks like it's done by a different person. Some of them work, some of them don't. I can't quite nail down how I want to do things when I'm out. I don't want to use watercolour because it just takes forever to dry, and it's humid, and you've got to carry extra stuff with you if you do watercolour. So I'm leaning towards either just black pen. I really like this with the pen and wash. I also like this very simple look with pen and wash. These two could go together. Or I might just also take markers and do that like I did in this book, because I really love how this came out. The question is whether I can do it again and again and again and again easily. I think I can, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see what happens, and then I'm going to try and put some stuff together to try and do it. Let me catch up with chat quickly. Oh. Luna, you talk so much. You make my chat so exhaustively long. Chat. Zombie Crew's fun. Yes, I like Zombie Crew. I think Zombie Crew is a good way of doing things. You're going to do a live introduction video talking about info and stuff over on your channel, I assume. Cool. Setting up your art room. Have no room yet. Well, put it on the floor. You don't have to have lots of room. Just put it on the chair and sit on the floor and draw it. Swipe everything off the desk, which is what I did earlier. Put it in a corner. You've been writing 2 pages a day in your journal. That's not bad. I don't write much. I prefer sketching and art to written journaling. But my sketchbooks are a journal, so. Inspired to purchase a couple more of his books. What, Danny Gregory? I must have missed something. Danny's books are amazing. I love his books. Anyone on YouTube know Rachel? No. You just bought the book for £10 on Amazon in paperback. Oh no! Oh no! That happens, you know, every time I go on Amazon I end up with a new book. I'm got a book sitting in my Amazon cart, and I am not allowed to buy it until I finish this one. You carry your journal with you too. Yeah, I carry a journal or a sketchbook with me absolutely everywhere. I never leave the house without one. I always have one in my bag. Label your pencils to match your hoo-hoos. It's fantastic. How long does it take me to draw? Depends what I'm drawing and how I'm drawing it. I don't take a lot of time to draw because I don't consider these drawings. These are sketches. And sketches, I do them fast. I just do them. If I was going to get detailed, I could spend like 4 or 5 days on a drawing, but that's too much more time than I'm willing to commit to a project, frankly. I go out, I sketch. You went to an island and found an old cemetery and post offices and old houses. Oh, cool. Was it abandoned or was it just old? It's abandoned, a whole abandoned village. I'd have to research that. I'd want to know, why was it abandoned? What was going on? Why? Why was the island abandoned? I need to know. I need to know these things. I must investigate. Is it haunted? That's my next question. It's a cool building. I want to try and draw our old train station. Oh, train stations. Train stations are a nightmare because they're so... The very high vaulted ceiling throws your perspective off. So I've stopped worrying about perspective so much. Since I've started doing Danny Gregory's style of drawing, I don't really think about anything except contours. You realised while looking around for a building to draw that you live in a very architecturally boring neighbourhood. If it's kind of suburbs type, you know, ordinary little square houses with a chimney and 4 windows and a door, it can look a little bit boring. I generally don't do a specific building unless I see a specific building that I want to draw. In that kind of area, I would draw like the view up a road or a particular tree with whatever happens to be behind it or something like that. Look for something of interest rather than going, I'm looking for a building to draw. I'm looking for a building to draw. It can be just, you know, oh, that's really weird the way that turn on that road makes it look like that road goes down and that road goes up. You know, it can be something really simple. If all else fails, look for a shop front. Shop fronts are always interesting to draw. Yeah, a pub is a bar. The Queen's head, the King's arms, the badger's feet, the slug and lettuce. Oh, we've got some right corkers. Hey, Rish. Sorry, didn't see you come in. Oh, scroll too far, scroll too far. Is it okay to write in pencil once in a journal? It's okay to do whatever the hell you want in your journal. It's your journal. Find it hard. You like sketching, but you find it hard to sketch during the day and journal all at the same time. Ah, well, that's where this comes in. Because it depends how you journal. If you think of journaling as just writing, then yeah, you're not going to have time to sketch because you're writing all the time. If you think of sketching as only drawing, then you're not going to have time to write because you're drawing all the time. But if you combine the two into an illustrated journal, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute, like this, well, this is not really a journal, it's a sketchbook, but I've started adding journal bits to it, so. Hey, love bug. Nice to see you. You're a Danny Gregory fan, you found him a while. Taking care of your hubs, right. I can see you having a lot in common and understanding a lot that he talks about in his books, yeah. Hey, Rach. You got the fan on full blast. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's hot. Tangier Island. Oh, there were people living there. It was just old buildings. Cool. Well, that's my little project I'm thinking of doing anyway, is to start documenting some of the buildings in my area in more than just an urban sketching way. I don't want to just draw the same building over and over again, which tends to happen. But I'd like to document the buildings over time, if that makes sense. So, this is the other book that I was trying to find. from Danny Gregory. This is my nemesis. I discovered. I've had this book a long time. A lot of others of you have got your books a long time. And for some reason, I never get very far into this book. I read it, I start reading it. Then I do this exercise. I've done this exercise so many times, I've never come back to it. I don't know what happens after this exercise. Because right here it says, do not erase any of your lines, date your drawings, don't read ahead, get to it. Well, the minute somebody says don't read ahead, I want to know what's coming next. So immediately I start flipping through all of this, like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, look, cute doggies. Oh, I like that brown. Oh, this is cool. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I like, ooh, this looks fun. Oh, I can't wait to get to all of this. Yeah, and then I find this page, and it says, why journal? And I read it, and I get to about here, and I'm like, that's why I do it. I remember now, and off I go. And I go off and journal. So I never do the rest of the book. I never actually learn anything from the book. And I'm sure I can learn something from this book, because I absolutely love the way Danny Gregory works. But no, off I go, and I go back to my same old, and then I get bored, and then I stop doing it, and then or there's a grand panini, and I stop doing it for 2 years because I don't leave the house, and, you know, that sort of stuff. And I'm bored. I want to try something new. So I'm getting back into my illustrated journaling, but not in a... I don't want to get into the habit of I must create a page a day. If I do 2 pages, I must use the whole spread. I must do 1 page every day. I can't skip days. I can't... Stop putting rules on yourself. It's your journal. Do whatever the hell you want in it. So that's what I'm going to do. When I draw, I draw. When I don't draw, I don't draw. I've started off easy with a drawing prompt list because I really want to do this. I'm using My Life Mitts and et al. Sorry, I can't remember who everybody's names are. I know Penguin is in it and Chotsky Bell. I can't remember everybody's names, I'm sorry. But My Life Mitts is the one that I do remember because I happen to know her better than everybody else. So I know she's on there. Go and look her up. She's got a fabulous journaling YouTube channel as well if you want to go and check her out. She does the Hobonichi challenge every month with a prompt list, and they've been doing it for years, like literally years. People use it as a Hobonichi list, they use it as a sketching list, they use it as a photo list, they use it as a bullet journal, decorations, all sorts of stuff. So it's just, and the theme this month is the park. So it's all simple everyday stuff like draw your keys, draw a bag, or you know, the prompts are keys, bag, picnic, that kind of stuff. So it's nice and easy. It's not anything. And if I want to draw 5 prompts in one day, guess what? I draw 5 prompts in one day on the same page. I do it. If I want to take 2 days to draw 1 prompt because it's complicated, then I do it. And I don't limit myself to just saying, oh, I'm sketching today. I'm doing a page today. I'm doing this. And if I want to write notes in between, I do. And if I want to write in between, I do. And if I want to write but I don't want people to see it, then I write it on the back of a post-it note and stick it in. And that's how I'm working, and I'm enjoying it. I may show you when I've finished the full month. I might just do a quick flip of what I've done just so you can see it. But I'm not going to be sharing it on Instagram or anything like that because there might be some personal stuff in there. I will cover up personal stuff. But if you are a member on Ko-fi, then, or a member or a supporter over on Ko-fi, there's my, right down there in the bottom corner, oh, here, there's my Ko-fi link. If you are a member or supporter over there, then I will be posting like blog posts or stuff just to share what I've done so far and flips and things, but I won't be sharing it general population, I'm afraid. Because like I say, journals for me are personal, and unless it's just like a random page where it's a picture of something that I'm really proud of and it's just a picture or whatever, then I might share that, but I don't really I feel happier working in my journal when I don't share it. So I might share certain things from it, but I just don't want to do massive flips of it. Anyway, if you're interested, on our Saturday sketching thing, we are doing this. We're starting off with that prompt that I say, you know, I always get that prompt. So it's all about, if you've got this book, read the beginning of the book, and then do this prompt. So why you should draw, how you should just ignore what everybody says and do it anyway. Stop asking so many questions. He's a big fan of don't label it. Don't worry about whether you're journaling or art journaling or sketching or doodling or whatever. Just call it whatever you call it and do it. What you do is more important than what you call it. I have started calling mine, and I mentioned this earlier, out journaling. Now, I coined the phrase out journaling many years ago. I think 2013. It was just something that came out one day. I was on a site with a lot of fellow journalers, and somebody said art journaling but outdoors, and I said, oh, out journaling. And for me, the name stuck, and I just kept using it. And I used the hashtag, and I used to say that, and it never took off. Nobody else ever used it. I think Les Herger used it a couple of times, and I think a couple of other people used it occasionally, but more kind of in passing. It never actually. Well, then I thought, well, hang on a minute. This is something that I coined, and I need a name for what I'm doing that is obvious. I need a hashtag if I'm going to post anywhere. Why don't I see if anybody's actually using that? And I did a Google search and nobody's used it since I last used it in 2014 or something. So I'm reclaiming my hashtag. I'm reclaiming it, and now I'm calling it out journaling. And whether that's sitting in my garden doing a bit of this and that, or going out somewhere and drawing something and urban sketching and nature journaling, or going to a coffee shop and doing so, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's written, doesn't matter if it's painted, doesn't matter if it's doodled, doesn't matter if it's done on a post-it and stuck in my book. I don't care. I'm just calling it out journaling. So, anyway, the idea is to end up with something similar to this, where it's, you know, you draw stuff and then you make notes and you write about things and you do stuff. And this is, it may seem redundant, especially if you already draw and sketch or keep a journal or whatever. But the idea is to start drawing in it on a regular basis. And you do these 4 things, but it's to get you started, basically. It's just somewhere to start. But it's also, because he says here, here's what we're going to do. We're going to learn to draw. And he always talks about it as learning to draw, but actually what he's doing is illustrated journaling. And he makes notes and he writes about stuff. But he says here, get a pen. Ballpoint, marker, whatever feels good. At this point, best to avoid something too thin or scratchy or too thick and blobby, but it's your choice. Don't use a pencil or erase any of your lines. If you change your mind about a line as you draw it, just draw another one next to it. For laughs, let's make a record of what your drawings look like before you've practiced at all. Draw the following. So that's why you draw the chair, the mug, the table, the person. Now, if you already draw, or, you know, I mean, I'm a professional artist, that's what I do. I can draw or paint a chair and make it look absolutely realistic. Or I can doodle one. Or I can do a contour line of one. I've got so many different ways I could draw a chair. But what I want to do is just grab a pen and draw the chair without thinking about it. Without thinking, oh, am I going to use my ballpoint or am I going to use my fountain pen? Or I'm going to do this, or shall I shade it? Shall I use watercolour? If I'm going to use watercolour, I need a I need a pen that's going to be waterproof. Is this pen waterproof? I don't know. Let me tell. I don't want to have that. Okay, I do that in my art. I just want in my journal to be able to pick up a pen, know that it works, and draw, and write, and make notes, and doodle, and do whatever I feel like doing at the time. So that's why I'm doing this. What I want to do... Whoops, left the lid off my pen. That's not a good idea. What I want to do is come back. I want to do this kind of like a journal page. So, I mean, there's a chair, a mug, a table, a person. Okay, well, next time I go to the coffee shop... I haven't been to a coffee shop in 2.5 years. There's a Starbucks up the road. I should probably go up there one day. It's going to be 34 degrees again tomorrow. I might get the bus up to Starbucks and go and get an iced coffee because it might be necessary. But yeah, you could draw a person sitting at a table having a drink, right, in the coffee shop. And don't think about it. Don't worry about what you're going to use or how you're going to use. Just take one book, one pen, and go and do it. And make notes while you're there, or, you know, give it a title, date it, whatever you want to do. And then once we've worked through some of this, because I have a feeling he's going to, at the end, he's going to, at some point, he's going to say, you don't think you're doing very well. You feel like you're not doing anything worthwhile. You're not improving, etc., etc. Go back and look at those first 4 drawings you did. I know that's coming because he teaches the same way I do. He even uses the same examples I do sometimes. So I know that at some point in this book it's going to say, go back and look at your first few drawings and see how well you've done. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he says, draw someone in a coffee shop, and then you come back and he says, right, now go and look at those 4 drawings you did. Anyway, I want to see how my journal pages change. How they loosen up, how they just get back to what I used to do when I was a teenager and when I was at university, and I used to just, you know, all day, every day, I just open my book and just do stuff. So, what do we... Luna, I think you worry too much about what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you like journaling, writing, colouring, cutting and crafts, then collage some bits into a journal, add some colour to it, write about it, you know, do whatever you want. It's your book. Do whatever the hell you want. Keep yourself busy during the heat. Something you don't have to think about. Something you can do easily without thinking about it. Cut fun images out of magazines and write about what they remind you of. You drew the mug, the chair, the person and the table, and then you read ahead. Okay. I never actually got around to doing this. I never even got that far. But we're actually doing this exercise in my drawing club. So if you're a member over on Patreon or Ko-fi or in When Frogs Sing class, anywhere like that you get the drawing tutorials on Saturdays. This is one of the tutorials. I put this up already with the idea that everybody does this, and then we look at the rest of what it says in the book, the rest of the chapter, and then we have a go at some of the other exercises, because this is a workbook. It's a proper workbook to actually read through and work on and make notes about and all that kind of stuff. Storms give you anxiety. I love storms, but I come from a family where storms are terrifying. I understand where you come from. Plus, I have a dog that becomes a Klingon. The minute there's a storm coming, she's here on my head and I can't do anything. I've cancelled classes sometimes. Not very often, but I have had to cancel classes because she's literally been clinging to my head. Too many rules, and what do you say? It's your sketchbook. Do whatever the hell you want. Yep. It's my book. I'm going to do it my way. And if my way happens to be 16 different ways from Sunday, then that's what my book is. I don't need a style. I don't need to be always... I don't need to have everything lined up to within an inch of its life. I don't need to have a perfectly curated watercolour kit. I can just sit and colour if I want to and do whatever the hell I want. And that's what I want my journals to be again. I want to get back to that. And the best way I know to do that is to do what I did with planning. 1 book, 1 pen, 1 month, just do it. And see what happens. Luna, if you want to paint in your journal, paint in your journal. If you're not sure if the paper will hold up, paint on a piece of paper that will fit in your journal and stick it in afterwards. You're wondering because you don't know. Well, it's simple. Do you want to? That's all you need to ask. Do you want to? Boom. There's your answer. But, like I say, if you're not sure about the paper, either test it first in the back. You know, maybe decorate the back page of your journal or something. Or those useless pages at the front of all books where they're all glued together. There's always see like this, there's a useless page at the front of every book. That's always a good one for drawing on, testing, because you can paint on this and it sticks to the cover. And you got one at the front and one at the back. So use both of them. And then if you absolutely hate what you've done, you can just like put a post-it around the edge or clip it together, or if it's really dire, just glue it down and pretend it never happened, you know. But at least you'll be able to see how your paper holds up and whether it bleeds through and what you can use on your paper and when. How. If it's mixed media, it will take anything, except alcohol markers will bleed through. Alcohol markers bleed through everything except alcohol paper. Do what you want. In fact, here's your new task, Luna. I have a new task for you. Every time you say, should I do X in my journal? Or should I try X in my journal? The answer is yes. Go and do it. You're not going to know if you like to journal every day with painting and collage and writing and art and everything else until you try it. So go and try it. Maybe you'll discover that on Sundays when it's really quiet and you've got lots of time, you're perfectly happy to sit and paint, and on other days you'd rather just write. Just go and try it. Try everything. You did get through the book, but it was years ago. Yeah. And it's not the kind of book that you come back to. Like The Artist's Way, it feels like it's an important book that you should always come back to. But, you know, I hit that finance chapter and every time I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. You've just started calling it your journal. Yes, exactly. It's a journal. It's my journal. That's what I do. It's not a diary, because a diary is written every day according to the date, or worked in every day according to the date. A journal is a chronology, or it's just a chronological record of events and things and stuff that's important to you. Yeah, I guess it also depends what kind of storms you have. I mean, when we have storms, I mean, like, we have thunder and lightning, quite heavy rain, occasional flooding in places. I don't get flooding because I live on a hill. And sometimes we get, 30-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, if your version of a storm is like, it may or may not be a hurricane or tornado, then maybe you're more justified in being scared of storms, you know? I mean, I'm just saying. You look through some of his books, but only at the pictures for inspiration. That's the problem. I look at the pictures, I get inspired, I go off and do my own thing. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute. He's written a book. The least I could do is actually read it. So that's my task, is I'm going to read this. This is what we're looking at. Look, he even does that draw a mug thing. Like, why you don't draw a mug that way. Same as I do when I'm drawing. So up to this part is, up to page 29 is what we're doing in art class. And you don't need to have the book to do it. If you want the book, it's available on Kindle Unlimited, if you have that. Or pick up a second-hand copy. You can get loads of second-hand copies really cheap. But I think it's only a tenner on Amazon anyway. But you can pick them up on eBay for like 20 quid, for like 2 quid. 30-mile-an-hour winds are scary, to be honest. Yeah, there's 30-mile-an-hour winds are scary. They're nothing compared to 85-mile-an-hour winds that could turn into a tornado, though. That's slightly more scary. But it's what you're used to, isn't it? We're not used to 30-mile-an-hour winds. We get a light breeze and we go, ooh, it's getting windy out there. Off topic, but you're excited for class tomorrow for 2 reasons. You're interested in what we're doing in that class, and the mic Katie sent you arrived. Woohoo! You'll be able to test it out. Awesome. Katie's away this week, but she has got her phone with her. If you need to message her and let her know. Oh, there we go. Let's look back at your mug. There it is. He didn't even get 3 pages past it. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on this. I'm determined. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is interesting. Look! Fishing in Manhattan. And all the different places that you can go to and buy fish or eat fish or also... See, this is the kind of historical type thing I would like to do. So, I'm determined to get through this damn book. Finish the book! Finish the damn book. But we're going to be doing it in class this month. And in the meantime, all that stuff you got sat over there, pick a page and start drawing. I've got a pen. It just happens to be a pen that's kind of cool to write with. It's a Uniball Signo 207, I think. I don't know. It's one of those clicky retractable ones. I think it's an 07. It's a needlepoint. It flows nicely. It's got nice black ink in it. It works alright on this paper, it'll do. And if it doesn't, then I've got my other pen here, which I know does work, and I'll just swap over. So, I'm not going to worry about if it's all going to finish on one page, or if it's going to work on one page, or whatever. I'm literally just going to start drawing kind of over here-ish. And if it spills onto this page, it spills onto this page. I'm not doing colour, I'm just doing black and white. So I don't really care if it goes over the marker. In fact, this is an ideal way to use your marker pages. And if you find this really distracting, just like, I don't suggest using a colour this dark, but just grab some post-it type things and just stick it over like that, and then you've got an interesting background to your drawing. But before I start... I've been drinking water all day, so I must take a quick break, or I will start drawing, and then I will completely forget that I haven't been to the loo. So, grab yourself a new drink, if you need one. I've got one. Have a quick break, or go and get your bag and chuck your stuff out if you haven't done it ready, and I will be back in 2 minutes. There we go, that's better. We're back. Okay, see you later, Luna. Bye. Thanks for coming. Finish the damn book, yeah. I'm on finish the damn book. This one and my little one by the end of the year. That's what I'm going to plan. Okay, now I want to just start drawing. But I know me. I know my brain. If I run out of room for what I want to draw, I'm going to get annoyed. So I'm going to do the bare minimum. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to use a coloured pencil so you can see it. I'm going to draw. I'm not even going to draw the corner of the desk. Well, no, I'm going to draw the corner of the desk, but only in order to, not for perspective reasons, but just to get a canvas size. So, I've got my book stood up here. I've got a water bottle stood here. I've got a bag, a drawstring bag type thing here. I've got a bag of peanuts here. I've got my main pencil case here. Now see, if I'd started drawing it, I'd have started with the water bottle and I would have drawn the water bottle like this big on the page. What I've done here is I've just mapped out roughly where things are going to be on the page. And roughly proportioned. Roughly, not amazingly proportioned, just roughly. And I'm going to work from that upwards. So I know I've got space to put everything out. I've got space to go up. Have I got enough space? Well, my book is about 1.5 times as tall as it is wide, so 1.5. That's how tall my book's going to be. My water bottle is only a little bit taller, so that will work. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to start from the front and work back. I might need to I'm going to go just a little bit bigger because, can't erase this pencil. I'm going to go just a little bit bigger because I don't want it to feel like it's scrunched up on one page. So there's my book, my peanuts, my bag, my pencil case here, maybe my water bottle. I might have to make my water bottle a bit shorter, or change the scale of it or something. Doesn't really matter. There we go. That'll do. Go from there. I've done that because I realised that I've got things like a pencil sharpener, and when I looked at this and went, oh, how big is my pencil sharpener, I don't have enough room to draw what I want to draw. So I've made it a bit bigger so that my pencil sharpener is the first thing that I can see on the thing. So I think this pen's running out. That's not good. I mean, it's refillable, but I'm not being too precise about this. I'm trying to be loose and sketchy and do kind of contour drawings without doing too much detail. So that'll do. is what we're looking at. This pen is a little bit funny. I don't know if it's the paper or if it's the pen itself. Let's see. Is it? It might be because it's hot. There's plenty in it. See if we can force the gel down a bit. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I've got plenty of other pens here. I'll just swap pens. Okay, the next thing I can see, I've got a hair clip here, which is sort of like that. Yeah, this pen is not happy. This one will do. It's almost exactly the same pen. I'm not trying to be precise. I'm not trying to do anything too technical. I just want to capture what's in my journal kit. Literally, I just want to catch what's in my journal kit. I'm not worried about perspective too much or making things incredibly square or anything like that. I'm literally just working from front to back. You don't even have to work from front to back if you don't mind lines going through things. I don't care if lines go through things particularly. Some people do. I don't really care, but I prefer it if they don't, because it can get confusing. I don't want to do lots of shading and stuff. Like when Danny does stuff, he doesn't really shade a lot. I mean, he does shade sometimes, but like when he's doing contour drawings and stuff, he puts in details, but then he uses colour. Oh, he does do shading for like shadows and things sometimes. He cross hatches sometimes. Oh, he does all sorts of things. Okay. I'm just going to do what comes naturally to me, rather than being overly precious about, oh, I don't want to do details, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do what comes naturally to me. What I feel comes naturally is to shade this in to show that it's a solid object inside a clear box. And of course not forgetting that it is three-dimensional, so we're going to need to do a bit down here as well. There we go. Now we can see it's inside a clear box. It just gives it some depth. I like that. Underneath that we've got another hair clip. So it's the same hair clip. I'm going to try a bit to keep them sort of in the same size ratio, so you can tell that they're the same item. But I'm not going to be overly worried if they're not the same size. I like that. There we go. What else have we got? So then behind here we've got a pen. It is a Copic gas-infused pen. So it's got a distinct shape, but it also doesn't matter if it's not exact. I'm not looking for exact. We're looking for... I drew it and oh look, it's a pen. And like Danny says, if you draw a line wrong, just redraw it where it should be. It's not the end of the world. Okay, now the pen comes all the way back out here, down here. So I think what I want to do is connect those. So what I'm going to do, because the pen is black, I'm going to shade along here like this. Of course you'll be able to see bits of the pen underneath that, but it will be a bit distorted. Like that. See, now you can see that that's one solid object, just because it's had the same treatment. So that's more of what I'm trying to do, is to just make sure that, you know, like this is curved. I want to make sure it's obvious that it's curved. So that seems to be the easiest way to do it. Right? You just put curve marks on the curves. Been looking for your white for 10 minutes. It's been in your hand. Oh dear. Exam time, is it? You said you were doing GCSEs. Must be... Oh no, exams are finished, aren't they? Or are you waiting for results? Or are you first year studying for second year. Here's something that'll date me. Here you go. I was the very first year of UK schools that did GCSEs. Yeah, I'm that old. See you, Luna. Okay, so a few other things, but now that I've put all those in, I can draw the front of my pencil case, which is underneath all of this. And it kind of... I don't... stop being so precise. Don't have to be precise. Where's the zip? Let's draw the top of the zip. Where's the zip? There's the zip. Comes all the way down there. That's the teeth on one side. It's got the little doohickey here, and then a flat piece and a loop, and then it's got the thing coming out the top there. It's got a thing like that, and it's got a big loop on it, and then attached to that, and oh well, I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that I drew through that line. It doesn't matter. Attached to that I have a small carbiner clip. It's only a mini one. It's like one of those it's a hinged one where you push it in and you can clip it onto things. It's just so I can clip it to my bag if I need to. Okay, so we can shade in that side and shade in this side, and then we can't see that we drew over the line. And why don't we enhance this a bit, and then we can colour that in, because that's black anyway, and then you won't be able to see any of it. There we go. That works. Ta-da! Well, yeah, Rachel, you're the same school year as me. You're a year older than me, but only because you're before Christmas and I'm after Christmas. We're the same school year. Okay, how does this connect? So this one connects here, like that. And this one comes back out the side here like that. So somewhere along here, these are just going to kind of meet up, aren't they? And then this comes out here and meets up with this one down here. Oh, I haven't drawn them the same size. Doesn't matter. And then there's kind of a gusset thing there. And then it goes down there and it disappears off the back there. And you can see a bit of the side of it, and you can see some of the elastic sticking out, so we'll put that in there. And to show that it's elastic, let's put some grooves on it. That's going to be dark because it's underneath, so there we go. Okay, teeth, zipper teeth. Am I lazy? Yes, I am. Zipper teeth. Actually, I'm going to make that just a little bit thinner, and then it will look like the other side of the bag underneath. There we go. And then all of this is black. You can't actually see what's going on in here. But I can see the inside of the bag there. Kind of. So let's just colour that in like that. I don't want to have to get another pen out, you see. I just want to colour with this one and be done with it. And then let's just cross hatch that bit so we can see that it's two different things. I like using single lines rather than cross hatching. But what I like to do is, if you've got two planes meeting each other, can you see how it's really easy to see that this is separate to this and that's separate to this? So instead of trying to do all of it black because it's black, just where two surfaces meet, make them the same, like this. Words, come on. If you've got two surfaces meeting each other like this, and this is black and this is black, okay, let's say they're like that, maybe they're different objects. If they're different objects, that's usually easier to do, but if it's the same object or two objects the same together, the easiest thing to do is to shade one of them that way and then shade the other one with your cross hatching. So if you've got a line of them, like maybe you've got a big line of black journals like I do, it just visually, it separates them out and shows you that each one's different. So that's what I'm doing with the pencil case. Rather than trying to colour it all black because it's all black, I'm just doing different cross hatching. Rachel, I got to episode, I don't know what number I'm on, 7 or 8. I've just watched Hobgaddling of Sandman. It's fantastic. I bloody love it. I was very sceptical. I wasn't sure. I mean, I have faith in Neil. And because he was involved in the entire process, I knew it was going to be good. But I wasn't sure about it being a TV series. And, you know, was it going to be dumbed down or anything like that? And it's not. It's really good. I love it. The only thing I don't like about it is Gemma Coleman. And that's because I don't like Gemma Coleman. Not because... I mean, they swapped John Constantine for Joanna instead of having both characters. But I'm okay with that. I mean, it makes sense. They've just added John's arc to Joanna's, and now we don't know if she's 300 years old or not. It makes sense. It's interesting. It adds an interesting layer to it. But I cannot stand Gemma Coleman. I do not think she's a very good actress. She reminds me of every kid I ever met in drama school. And I don't like her. And she's exactly the same as she was in Doctor Who, except she swears more. So that to me says she's not a very good actress. She's playing the same character again. But it's only because it's her. I like the way they've dealt with Joanna. I just wish it wasn't Gemma Coleman. Because I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, I can't stand this woman. It could have been really, really bad. And I was so impressed with how they handled the diner. And yet again, the master of disguise himself. There's two actors that are very hard to spot when they're doing character acting. And to me, there's two types of really good character actor. There's the character actor who can do the over-the-top flamboyant character acting, like Johnny Depp. And do it well. And there's the character actors who play ordinary people, but it's not until about halfway through that you realise who they are and that it's the same actor that you've seen in a billion other things. Johnny Depp's very good at creating a character by putting a costume together and giving it a personality, and it's like he role plays the character, which is a talent in and of itself, and I love it. But people who can play ordinary people without adding a costume, without adding a lot of theatrics, without adding a false nose or a lisp or whatever it is they have, and just not be recognisable as themselves, they amaze me. And the two people that can do that to me every single time is Gary Oldman and David Thewlis. I did not realise that Ray was David Thewlis until I saw him. There's a point where he's sat in the diner and he's got his cup of coffee and he sits like this, and they catch him at that exact angle that he was sat in exactly the same angle in Harry Potter, when he played the werewolf in Harry Potter. And I saw him at that angle and I was like, oh, it's him from Harry Potter. David Thewlis. But he's so hard to spot. The Corinthian is fantastic. I don't know who that actor is, but he's bloody good. I've never seen anyone who can not move their face when they're talking. Like most people are animated. Some people are very animated. To not move your face when you're talking, I mean, it's hard enough to just keep your eyebrows still. And that guy is like, he's like a plastic mask. He has no expression whatsoever. He is pure psychopath. Not the actor, obviously. He's a very good actor who happens... Well, maybe he is a psychopath, I don't know. I'm not going to assume he's a psychopath just because he can play a psychopath. But it's very hard to do that. It's very hard to... Angelica Houston can do it when she does Morticia. She doesn't even move her eyebrows. Nothing moves except her mouth and her eyes. And she's incredibly good at doing it. She can raise her eyebrows without moving her eyebrows, which is very impressive. But yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that they got Charles Dance to play Broderick. I mean, of course, who else would play it? That's who the graphic novel was modelled on. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I haven't watched... I think I've got 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know. I've seen the Hob. Oh, that word is so hard to say. Hobbs episode, where he goes to the New Inn. I've seen that. And I absolutely loved how they treated The Sound of Her Wings. That whole episode was captivating from start to finish. I also like how they threw in the whole because the endless appear to you how you see them, and they managed to get around the fact that they chose a black actress, and I thought that was so cleverly done. When he goes to hell and he sees Nala and you see her talking to him, he's in the guise that Nala saw him in as the tribal man. When you see Death, the first person other than him to speak to her is the black guy on the market stall. The second person to speak to her is Franklin, who's also black. So it kind of connects, and it makes it make sense. It's very clever, very clever. I thought it was beautifully done. The girl who plays Death is fantastic. She is a natural. I can see why they chose her. Because I saw an interview with Neil and he said when we auditioned for Death, there were about 200 actresses who all turned up, were all very good. Some were extremely good, and they all could have passed as Death from the comics. They all could have looked like her. But she was the only one who made me feel like I believed she could be Death. And for the author to say that, you know, the author himself says, if I was going to die and I wanted to meet my Death, my version of Death after I die, then that's who I'd want to meet. That's high praise indeed. And she's good. She's totally natural, totally ridiculously perky, ridiculously optimistic. Hands up if you shouted fat pigeons. I think we've lost a lot of the audience. Sorry guys. Getting my nerd on. I'm a Sandman fan. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I haven't even finished it yet. And I already know I'm going to go back and watch it again as soon as I've done. Because I've only got Netflix for a month. so I might as well watch it again. And then I'll probably go and read all the books again. And then I'll come back to it. I think it sounds like there's going to be a season 2. Everybody's raving about it, so it sounds like they're going to do a season 2. I knew she had to be good as Death when you said you liked her as Death. Because I know how picky you are about that character. And there were a lot of diehards on Twitter that were like, yeah, I had my misgivings. I didn't like the actress in the time, but actually, yeah, you were right. And when you've got the diehards saying, well, okay, you were right, that's impressive. I want to watch the diner scene again because I was so impressed with how they did it, but also that I feel like there was a lot of clues and things that I missed. I feel like there was a lot of Easter eggs in that scene that I didn't notice because I was too busy watching what the characters were doing. So I want to watch that again. But, you know, if you're going to watch 2 episodes again, you might as well watch all 8, right? I don't know if it's going to be available on DVD, but if it is, I'm buying it. And there's not many things I buy on DVD. This is more detail than I planned, but it's because most of the things that I own are black. I kind of have to in order to distinguish between a black pencil, a black pencil case, a black pen. I have to play. Okay, now I get to draw my favourite thing, which is on my keys. He's adorable. For years I thought it was a dog. It's not, it's a sheep. It's been on my keys since the day I got him. Oh, my perspective's gone way off here, but I'm just going to fiddle things so that it fits. Because it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to... If I picked up these keys right now and moved them, nobody could say, oh, well, those keys aren't in the right place. So I don't really care. That's a little light thing that I've got. Okay, so this guy... he is about this big. And he is a little black sheep that I've had on my keys since, I think, about... I want to say 2006. It was a good luck thing that Willowing sent me when I did my very first class. And he's been on my keys ever since. And he's adorable. Is that the oldest keychain ever? Possibly. He's at a weird angle, so we're not going to see his cute face. But that's okay. You can see his nose. And you can see the top of his head here. can't see his eyes. You can see the top of his black bit there. You can see his little bit coming off there, and he's got a keychain that you can kind of see a little bit of there, so we'll put that there. His ear is here. Here's his ear. Actually, let me use this pen because it's a bit thicker. I don't want to switch pens all the time, but this pen is a bit thicker and it's running out anyway, so I might as well run this one out. Oh, there's something stuck under his ear. I think it's a key. So and then you can see his body comes down and his little arm comes down and his belly comes down like that, and that's dark in there. You can see his leg there, and then all the rest of this is black. Might as well use up the pen that's running out, and then I can go get a refill for it. And then it won't be running out anymore. It's interesting how it almost looks grey. It looks really dark when you use it on its own, but then when next to this one it actually looks kind of grey. Weird. But because it's chunkier, it's easier to do this kind of scribbly filling in. But I won't be doing that for everything. I'm just going to do it for him. Without context of what you're drawing, it looks like a lint monster. No, it's a little lamb. It's a cute little black lamb. I can see where you're coming from with the lint monster, but this is his nose and his nostrils, and then his eyes are up here. He's actually incredibly cute. Okay, so over here we've got keys. I'm going to simplify the keys a bit because there's a lot of keys going on here. And they're all interchanged, and I've got so many different key rings on my keys. It's all a little bit ridiculous. Let's colour that in so we can see it. Yeah, I'm just going to simplify the keys a bit. And then we've got one behind his head that's coming out here. Like that. And then behind that we've got a key ring, and down here we've got the back of the pencil case coming out here, and we've got the back of my phone here. And phone coming out there. We'll worry about phone later. What's going on here? We've got something else here that kind of looks like it might be a key, so I'm just going to assume it is, because I know I've got 3 keys on my key ring, so I'm just going to assume it is and kind of make it look a bit like a key, like that. There we go, that'll do. And then behind that we've got my bag of peanuts, which is almost certainly going to be wildly out of perspective and the wrong size and all sorts of other things, but that's okay, doesn't matter. That goes across. Oh, that comes up there we go. Oh, that comes up there we go, that's where it goes, and then this goes behind here, and then this is rolled down as well. It's got some weird thing on it, it's got some peanuts on it, and it says gonna run out of room, but never mind. Maybe the bag's scrunched up, right? Who cares? There's some boxes on the back, a little bit of writing. Of course this is upside down, there's a barcode. There we go, that'll do. Then over here we've got here we've got my magnifying glass in its case, which is really cool. And just to show you how far out this perspective is, this box should be up here somewhere for the size. I seem to be getting bigger as I go up, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. I know I'm commenting on it, but I'm just commenting on it to say that, yeah, it's wildly off, but actually that's kind of what I'm enjoying about it. The fact that I'm not sitting here thinking, oh my god, I've got to have all this working properly and it's all perspectives off and everything else. It doesn't matter. So the case is red, but the actual thing in here is black and I can see it, so let's put that there. There we go. And this is actually, the outside is black as well, so let's just give it the shaded treatment. Okay, and then behind that I can see my binoculars, which I bought in the Early Learning Centre. They're a set of kids binoculars. I think they cost me about £4. They enhance not very much at all, but it's enough to be able to see something in the distance that you can't quite work out how that bit of... Oh good, there's a piece of cord here. Okay, that's from the binoculars. So let's do that there, and then let's draw a twisty bit of cord that we can make thicker. So I'm not even going to bother drawing parallel lines and trying to make it work. I'm just okay, and then that's the rim of the binoculars. I'll colour that in so you can see it. There we go. And then we've got this other bit that comes up this side. So these bits are the same shape. And there's a big dial-y thing in the middle there. That's all kind of serrated and grooved. It's got some grips on the side. Comes back down like that. There's a big old button in here. goes back down that way, and then this side we've got the other spyglass thingy. They're at a funny angle because this bit kind of, they go like that basically. They're compact and they go like that so you can see them properly. And then there's another bit roughly here that comes down like that. That also has a weird dip in it as well. And then on this end there's a big button as well. There we go. It's a bit hard to see what's going on down here, but I think it shows as a pair of binoculars. Oh yeah, it's much more obvious on here, on the screen. If I give it a harder outline like that, it'll be easier to see what it is. Okay, and then behind all that I've got my water bottle is coming up here, and I'm not going to be able to fit it all on. Let's see, can I move it down a bit? I think I can move it down a bit. Let's put it there. In fact, let's have it coming behind here, and then it goes up like that. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fit all of it on, but I can fit a good size of it on, enough of it to be able to see it's a water bottle. It's got a strap coming down there, and that's a material, it's like a canvas strap, so if you're not sure how to show something is material, add stitches. Unless you're junk journaling, stitches equals material. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Okay, so actually I got a fair bit of my water bottle in. It's just the like that's the shoulder of the water bottle. I'm only missing about maybe that much of it, which is the lid. So that's not too bad actually. Kind of impressed. Let's draw the top of the strap here, and you can see the belt going around the top of the water bottle. This comes up here and goes across there like that. So yeah, I've got everything up to the neck of the water bottle, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do this in a coloured in because it's actually a different section. It doesn't come off, but it's loose. Okay. What's that? Oh, that's where I misstarted my beginning of my water bottle. So on the water bottle I have a weird sticker that I'm not going to be able to reproduce, but it doesn't matter. It's a by bun. It's the dead bird sticker. Why have I got a dead bird sticker on my water bottle? With mushrooms coming out of him. I'm just going to super simplify it. It doesn't look like the sticker at all, but it's a dead bird, and if you know the sticker then you'd know. Let's just stick a foot on him. He doesn't have a foot, I don't think. But I'm putting a foot on him just so you can see that he's a dead bird. It's more important to be able to see what it is than it is to reproduce it accurately. And then it's got a white thing around the outside. We'll do that. That makes it look like a sticker. And why do I have that? Well, because the name of my cup brand is super sparrow. And since it's a dead sparrow, I thought it would be funny. No other reason. Hello. No idea what your name is. Sorry, I don't read. Was that Arabic? No. I don't think it's Arabic. I think it's something else. Cute icon though. So yeah, my water bottle is a super sparrow, and I thought it would be funny if I put a dead sparrow sticker on it. So there we go. Tell me you're a goth without telling me you're a goth. Makes you want to get your Draw So Cute sketchbook out again. Awesome! Feel like it's supposed to be cute anyway, and I don't worry so much about having to be hyper realistic. Yes, do it! Do it! Actually, this is surprisingly perspective-ished. I mean, it doesn't look like it does there. If I look at that, I'm like, oof, that is way off. I mean, this guy is the same height as this. And this is bigger than that. And that is the same length as that. And those binoculars are probably the only thing compared to the pens that are actually about the right size. And the peanuts, actually. I did quite well with the peanuts. Those are probably the only things that are actually about the right size, if I look at what I'm actually looking at. But you can't see what I'm looking at, and if I look at it on screen, it actually looks like I've, you know, I could imagine somebody looking at this and going, oh, how did you get that perspective right? How did you make sure all the things fit the right size? Because they look like they fit about the right size. How big is an eraser? Well, that's a pencil, that's an eraser. Okay, that's about right size. Yeah, pencil sharpener, a pen, a pencil case. You know, the pens all fit in the pencil case. It's a key. I know how big a key is compared to a pen. It's about the right size. I have no idea how big fluffy sheep are that you put on your keys, but if it's a key ring, then, you know, it's about the right size. It's a bit big maybe, but I like to have a stuffy with me. Anxiety are us. Social anxiety, not so much. Anywhere that I have to wait or be in a queue or be hemmed in by lots of other people, that's where I'm going to have a problem, because it's not social anxiety, it's more claustrophobia. I don't like to be trapped in places where I can't get out. And yes, that includes places like the doctor's office. If I'm sat at the back, I always sit at the front. Don't ask me why, I just do. I am claustrophobic. Okay. Now, somehow I need to make my book fit in here. Now, my book should be starting about here and finishing halfway through those peanuts. But obviously that's going to be too big, right? Because then my book is going to be like this tall, and it's actually shorter than my water bottle. So my book needs to be about this big. What fell off the thing again? You know that glue I was supposed to put on it last week? Apparently I didn't. Or I did and it fell off. No, I think it did. It must have come unstuck. See, my book doesn't fit where it needs to be. Okay, don't move the camera again. Leave the camera alone. So, how am I going to get around that? Well, here's how I'm going to get around it. I'm going to take my book and I'm going to, instead of drawing it that way, I'm going to draw it that way. So instead of having it stood up at the back, I'm going to lay it down. That way I can draw it roughly the right size. See, it's going to be a little bit longer than these pens. So it's going to start here, it's going to finish there, but it'll finish sort of here. See? Nobody's ever going to know, apart from the entirety of YouTube who watches this video, which is not going to be the entirety of YouTube, but like the 60 or 70 people who watch this video will know that my book was not actually lying down on the table, kind of like that. But does it matter? No. So this has got really jaggedy edges, and it's got kind of battered bits, so I'm not gonna make it look too pristine back here. And then so you can imagine that it would be kind of that big. And then I'm going to add, it's got a pen loop up here. And we already know how big a pen is. A pen is about that big, right? So that pen is going to fit kind of along there, like that. It's got a little bit of thing on it, like that. It comes in and then it goes out again because it's got a comfort holder on it, which this one doesn't have. And that's got little doohickey grip things on it, so let's make that look a bit more like it should. There we go. This is going down behind the book, so let's give it a bit of shade, that way I can make the pen a bit bigger. And then the pen comes down this way. It's going to be about that long, and then it's got a little bit of thing on the bottom. We'll put some shade in here again so we know that that's where the pen is. We'll give it a bit of curvature, make it more obvious it's a pen, maybe it's catching the light here. This is a bit of elastic, so again we'll do the old fabric thing, and then I can just about see, or I would have been able to see, the back corner of this book here, and then some of the pages. So I'm going to make it a little bit more obvious, and then do this dark. So that's pages, and then this is the edge of the book. This is the edge of the water bottle. Put thicker lines to make things look like there's in front of stuff. So then this is going to have some more up here, and then I can make this a bit more page-like here. See, now it looks like a book. And then on this particular book, I happen to have a sparkly sticker, which I can't really draw, but it's got circles on it, and they're all kind of like that. And then here, it's a ghost. It's a by bun ghost, of course. So let's kind of make him kind of look a bit like a sticker, like that. He's got big hairy hands coming down. He's got black fingernails. I think we'll know that that's a big hairy ghost. There we go. Let's put some marks on him. He's got a thing around him like that, and a thing around him there. Let's make this a different colour just so we can get some dimension into him. And then on this side we've got kind of a whiskey bottle thing. go. And then the book itself is black, so I think since it's at the back we can do some very, very simple shading here. Just to show that it's all one piece here. Make sure the lines go down behind there. And then this is all going to be in shadow, so actually I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow in here. Darken that line up. I don't want to go overboard with it, but it just adds a little bit of extra to it. This packet looks weird because it's actually folded down. So in order to show that it's folded down, I'm going to add a little bit of shadow there. See, it's so much more obvious now that that is folded down at the top. Don't like being stuck where I can't see how to get out in an emergency or feel like I wouldn't be able to exit in an emergency. Oh, first thing I do is look for the exits. Any given situations, first thing I do is look for the exits. Because if I'm not going to have to get out in an emergency, I'm at least going to have to find air if I have a panic attack. So first, look for the exits. Second, make sure you're near a door or a wall so you can follow the wall out. No matter where you are in a room, if you're next to a wall, eventually, if you follow the wall, you'll find either a door or a window. 2, check for windows that open. Because if all else fails, you can just open the window and stick your head out. Smashbook journals. God, I haven't heard of Smashbook journals in ages. I liked those until they became commercial. I thought they were fun idea. I mean, they're not a million miles away from junk journals, but you know, somebody saw an opportunity to make some money and off they went. I'm going to add some curvature to this just to connect it together. This guy needs to be dirty. He's not dirty enough, and I'm going to just give him some dirt patches. It's weird how we recognise that to mean dirt, but we do. Tidy up his edges a bit, because that grey pen actually makes it easier to mark where his edges are. It's not a grey pen, but it looks grey compared to what I used here. There we go. Okay, my phone. I didn't finish drawing my phone. There's not a lot to see. It's an iPhone 8, so it has a big old button on the bottom. Has a big old screen. Not really big enough screen. I need to get a new phone because this one is quite literally held together by the case that it's in. The back is held on by the case. The sides are held on by the case. Everything is held together with the case. The screen is in a bazillion pieces, and the only reason it's still together is because it's got a piece of plastic stuck to it. Okay, so this is glass. So I feel like we can, even though it's black, we can do a bit of reflection type stuff. There we go. This case is black, so we might as well colour it in. Let's have it hanging off the edge. It'll kind of provide a almost like a frame See how this and this and this frames those edges? So I think what I'm going to do, just to complete the edge, I'm going to because this is not, it's not glass, but it is see-through, and it's not glass and it's not plastic like normal plastic. It's a weird silicon hybrid type thing, so it's clear, but it's also not entirely clear, if that makes sense. So I want to give it that reflective surface look. It's actually got a logo on it as well that I hadn't noticed before. See, I've had this water bottle 2 years? Never seen that logo before, never noticed it. Never noticed it. Let's give it some reflection marks, and maybe we can see some water inside it, maybe. It's all about making different marks to, I mean, if we put ripples on that, there's not going to be ripples on water that's flat in a glass, is there? But if we put ripples on it, we know it's water. Okay, so there we go. There's my drawing, and I've got enough room there on the outside. And this is what captivates me about what Danny does. He doesn't just draw his stuff. You know, you can go and draw your stuff, and you can draw your stuff, and there you go. You draw your stuff. Very well done. But he also makes notes of things. And that's what I'm going to do. So that makes this, for me, that makes this a journal page. So oh, I missed a bit. Right, okay. Everything jumped. Been working on your own version. Also, like, create this book. I don't like stuff that's got prompts in. I'm not a prompts kind of girl. I like prompt lists because I don't feel like I need to finish a prompt list. But things like wreck this journal and all that kind of stuff, just kind of ugh. It feels very contrived, and creativity isn't about being contrived. It's just about doing. For me. I'm sure some people absolutely love Wreck This Journal, and it gives them complete carte blanche to do whatever they feel like doing, and that's great. I'm not knocking anybody who enjoys that kind of stuff or anything like that at all. Do what works for you, but that sort of stuff doesn't work for me, and that's why. You haven't made one, but you like watching junk journals. Meg Journals is fab for doing junk journals. I love watching her make journals. Junk journals is a bit too, I mean, I used to do them and I go through phases, but it is a fad thing with me. Every so often I go, oh, I'll do a junk journal, and I'll stick with it for like 6 months, or I'll finish that particular one or whatever, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm done with that now. The trouble with junk journals for me is by the time I've made it, I'm bored with it. I don't want to use it. Your hammer with visual processing disorder. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. I'm assuming it's similar to audio processing problems, because I have that. I have noise cancelling headphones, and I don't use them for music. I put them on because they cancel noise. And I don't have to listen to things going on outside. Too much noise or too many like white noise, like in a cafe or anything like that. Oh, no, can't deal with it. Cute drawing exercises. Yeah, draw what you want, draw how you want. It doesn't matter, as long as you like it. There's too much emphasis now on social media. And I've lost count of the number of times I've had to remind somebody that if you're not specifically making whatever art you're showing on social media for a purpose to sell it or something like that, like, you know, if you're doing Etsy shop stickers or something like that, by all means share your art. You know, if you're a professional artist, share your art. But if you're not doing it for that reason, you don't actually have to share anything ever. If you do want to show that you're journaling or you're proud of something, then show what you're proud of. But you can just as easily take a photo of your book at that angle, you know, with your cup of tea behind it and some pens out and whatever, or even just the front of your book with your favourite pen on top. This is my favourite pen for journaling. Well, you don't have to show what you're actually doing. And I think people forget that. I forget it sometimes, so I'm sure other people do. Do what you want is your book. Yeah, exactly. You've lost me, Luna. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Sorry. Took the prompts out of the book and made them into a list. Yeah! Cool. Oh, your phone's being stupid. Oh, okay. I do that. I was having 2 conversations at once the other day and I kept replying to the wrong one. But people know me well enough now and they go, that wasn't answering my question, was it? I'm like, no. Hang on. Small phone, fat fingers. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is just make it look like it's on a surface, because the one thing that bugs me, with drawings like this is that they're just floating. So I always add a surface to what I've drawn. But I'm going to wait until I've done my notes to do that. If you want to share, that's fine. It's when people forget that they don't have to share that the problem occurs. Yeah, sharing the decorated parts before you add any writing to it is a good idea if you want to keep the writing personal, but you're quite happy to show people what they look like. Or just put, you know, these things that you get with marker paper pages, or even like this. This is deli paper that I put in between my pages. It's greaseproof paper. Something like that, just put over. You know, people can't read your writing through that. It's too fuzzy. But you can do something like that and put it over your writing. Like, you can't even read that text there easily. Maybe a little bit of it, but it's too difficult for most people to bother with. So I tend to use this if I've got writing on a page. I just put that over the writing and then they can see what it is and they can see there's writing there, but it puts it in context. But you don't have to share what you're writing. I just don't share anything that I don't want to share. And I advocate that. Just don't share what you don't want to share. And share what you do want to share. So, this is... Are you ready for this? You ready for this? His name is... Sean the sheep. Because he's got short hair. Not Sean. Sean the sheep. Sean the sheep. See? Get it? And there's Sean. There's Sean the sheep. Luna, I don't mind you chatting a lot. Chatting a lot is great. It keeps the chat going. I appreciate it. But can you stop touting your own stuff in my chat? You can mention your Instagram once and, you know, say, oh, I do this, or, you know, I've got a YouTube if you want to join, or here's other people's links, you know, here's, or, well, you can't post links, but here's other people and that I like. That's great. I love when people suggest other people that you might want to follow. But can you stop constantly saying, I've got an Instagram, I do this, I've got an Instagram, I do this, I've got an Instagram, I do this. It's kind of doing my head in. Do it once in a long stream, maybe do it again 2 hours later. Perfectly fine. But every 5 minutes is a bit excessive. Love bug. Mary, hi. It's been a while, hasn't it? Come and follow me on Coffee and then you'll get updates. This is Sean the sheep. See, Lovebug understood what I was going with. This is Sean. He's been on my keys since 2016. And look, he hasn't even needed repairing yet. He's still going strong. But I love him because he's squishy. So when I need something to hold for the old... the old anxiety, Sean the sheep is there for me. And this is Gypsy's tag from her collar. Might draw that in actually, because there's a reason it's on there, obviously. I can just pop it in here. There we go. It's got a tiara on it, my little gypsy queen, and lots of love hearts. I'm not going to copy the design exactly, I'm too lazy for that, but some love hearts there, some love hearts there, some love hearts there. There you go. And then I can put an arrow. Gypsy's tag. Yeah. Okay. Time out. That's what happens when you bother me on my stream. It takes a lot for me to get bothered by somebody, but you're bothering me, okay? Don't bother me. Don't back chat, and if I ask you to be quiet, please be quiet. Because if you're being needed to be asked to be quiet, you're talking way too much. Because most people just chat. You are being over the top. I've asked you nicely. I've asked you nicely again. I've told you not so nicely. Now you're in timeout. I don't know how long timeout takes. You can let us know when you come back. You're not banned. You're not removed. You're just in timeout. I have just handed you a big bag of shush. Keep losing faith. You lose faith. Lose faith. Lose faith in what? What are you losing faith in, Mary? As long as it's not God, I can help you. If you're losing faith in God, you need a priest. Or whatever. I can't help you with that. But if it's journaling, drawing, art, having fun, all that kind of stuff, that we can do. Shaun the Sheep. A good luck gift from... I think I've drawn Shaun several times, but I don't think I've ever written about him. Interesting. You lost your overview, you couldn't follow chat anymore. Yeah, that's the problem, Risha. And that's the problem I'm having. And I'm sure Cody was having a similar problem. Anybody with ADHD or dyslexia, or just who is not following chat every sentence, that kind of just constant wah, 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 makes it really difficult to see what's going on. Oh, everything. Oh, and Mary, you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place. First off, there is an excellent chap. I'm actually going to go and get his link, because I just watched this earlier. It was a really, really good video. It came on because I just click on a video and just whatever happens, happens. Let me go and find his link. It was a really good video. Really, really good. Here he is. Don't give up as an artist. And it's not just about art, it's about lots of stuff. Let me grab the link and I will put it in chat for you. Go and save the link or grab it and watch later. It's a really, really good video about not giving up on stuff. Don't be defeatist. Don't be... You can't allow things to keep getting in your way, because you've got to do things because you love them. If you do you love writing? Do you love art? I don't know whether you're making commercial art or writing these days, or if you're just doing it because you love it. But if you are doing it commercially and you were in a position where you weren't doing it commercially, would you still be writing and drawing? I would be writing and drawing even if I didn't do it as part of my job. Hey Mika. Oh, it's so hot. You probably dehydrated overnight. I did. I woke up with a headache this morning. And dry. So dry. I felt like I'd been out on a bender last night or something. I don't even drink. From Willowing just before my first class in 2006. I'm deliberately holding my pen back here like I do when I draw. I'm not holding it down here like I normally would when I write. Because when I write, I have the tiniest handwriting known to man. Second only to Mika. Mika's writing is actually a tiny bit smaller. I have writing that is like super tiny. Super tiny. If I wrote, you wouldn't be able to see what I was writing. You wouldn't be able to see anything. So I'm deliberately holding my pen back here so that I'm forced to write a bit bigger. Because with that amount of play in your pen, you can't write too small. So, good luck gift from Willowing just before my first class in 2006. Still on my keys. 2006, 2016, 2026, -4, 14 years later. Is that right? 14 years? Sounds about right. So, right, so timeout is about 10 minutes. Welcome back, Luna. Chill, mate. Pull you through it. Your stories are not that good for selling. Well, then you're only writing for yourself then, aren't you? If you're only writing for yourself, as long as you like it, who cares? And if you don't like it, then write another one that's better. That's all there is to it. Keep it doing it until it gets better, because If you're only writing for yourself, you're the only person who has to like it. And the more you practice, guess what? The better you'll get. Tell stories. You should... Oh, 16. Did I go the wrong way? Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yeah, because it's +2. I forgot to add the +2. Thank you. 16. Oh, look, it doesn't even look like I got it wrong. 16 years later. Yeah, if you're only working for yourself, you don't need to worry about how you're doing it or why you're doing it or anything. Just keep doing it. I don't mind you talking a lot, Luna. I'm not mad at you for talking a lot. I get annoyed when you keep saying, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. I do this on Instagram. I do that on... Go and look at my thing. Go and look at that. That's not what we're here for. If you want to chat about art and what you're doing and all that stuff, that's perfectly fine. Chat about your journaling. Chat about how you journal. Though, you know, you were adding stuff about how you journal and why you share stuff. And that's great. That's what chat's for. But the constant spam is a little bit too much. Okay? And Mika's got a headache. So, if you upset Mika will put you in timeout faster than I do. So Mika is now your jailer. So if you get over the top, she's going to just put you in timeout. She doesn't even have to ask. She's just going to do it because she's got a headache. You stopped because of the pandemic. Oh, me too. I stopped journaling pretty much the day the pandemic started here. Pretty much the day we went into lockdown, I stopped journaling. And I started just sketchbook. All sketchbooks. This, Mary, you need to... when the stream's finished, you need to go back and start at the beginning. Because this is me getting back into journaling. That's okay. We don't mind kid minds. I'm very much in touch with my inner child. I have her on speed dial. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. But constantly spamming with go and look at my Instagram, go and do this, go and do that, not funny. My Little Pony. I have a thing for what are they called? Pop figures. If it's a black or a black and white pop figure, I probably have it. The only exception is my Beetlejuice one because he has green hair. Okay, I'm going to put some hash marks in here behind this because I know I'm not going to write on that bit there. Okay. Okay. Let's do a journal. A5 journal. Oops. A5 journal. Art Ventures. That's very appropriate. Art Ventures for art journals. Funko Pop. Thank you. Funko Pop. I have a Funko Pop collection. But only the black and white ones. Except for Beetlejuice. I made an exception for Beetlejuice because he's cool. You don't need to explain, just don't do it. Okay? No explanation needed, just don't do what I ask you not to do. And continue doing what I haven't said is wrong. Okay? Perfect. Don't make me get my teacher voice out on you, because I will. Started journaling when the pandemic started to cope with the isolation. Oh, I was completely the opposite, because I was so enjoying the isolation. I was like, yay, I don't have to go out in the real world. I use my journaling as a way of not talking to people when I'm out. Yes, you can. You don't need to feel bad. Just don't do it. It's that simple. Just don't do it. Talk about journaling, talk about art, talk about how you journal, all that kind of stuff. That's interesting. That's fine. You can talk about that till the cows come home. Nobody cares. All right? Yeah, you don't want to hear Rose teacher voice. You do not want to hear Rose teacher's voice. Apology accepted. Now, don't do it again. Because Mika will put you in timeout like that. Trust me. A5 Journal Art Ventures. Currently trying to finish this and the one I'm drawing in by the end of the year. 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm not going to count that one. 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, because it's the 20th, okay. 12. 117 minus 12 is 105, correct? "12 pages down, 105 to go." There you go. Oh my god, these peanuts. Sensations, California, honey and salt roasted peanuts. The snack of champions. They're amazing. What else do we have? Oh, my water bottle. It's 30 degrees today. I've refilled this 7 times already. And that would have been at the beginning of the stream, so I'm going to put 5:30. Okay. Jed Sparrow sticker, courtesy of Bye Bun. What else? What the heck is that, I hear you cry? I can't decide which end to put my arrows on. I keep changing them. Maybe I'll put an arrow on both ends and then I have to think about it. There we go. That solved that problem. 50 times magnifying glass. Very handy for old people. Ta-da! Okay, what else? Do I want to draw anything else? I actually have a couple of bits and pieces on the table here. Oh, I'm going to put my favourite pencil in, actually. I love this pencil. I use it a lot, so I'm going to draw it here because it's on the table in front of my bag. It must have fallen off the thing. So that's dark at that end. Light at this end. Let's put like that and label it blue. And let's put a label up here and label this red. That's my favourite pencil. Current favourite pencil, and it's a Uni Mitsubishi pencil. Now, what's the point of putting current or this is what I'm trying to do by the end of the year if you don't put a date on it? So you always put a date on your work. So I'm going to put a big old thing up here. It is August the 10th. Twenty 22. Oh, 2022 is like one of those. Rish will understand what I mean. 2022 is one of those years that it's like certain words where you don't know how many E's or I's there are in something, and you end up with too many loops, and then you don't know how to spell anything anymore, and you're not quite sure if you spelt it right. It feels like that. I can't work out how many twos there's supposed to be in it. When in doubt, add a drop shadow. Everything looks better with a drop shadow. If you don't know that already, have you ever even used Photoshop, right? These look a bit scraggly, so I'm going to colour them in a bit. So they look like they're supposed to look like that then. Maybe I'll do some... There we go, I like that. So, Mary, do you have a copy of Danny Gregory's Creative License book? You see, I think I remember you saying you've got one way back when. Or I'm mixing you up with somebody else. I think you probably have got one. Thank you, mods. People get mad at you for talking because you're not talking. You're spamming. Spamming is when you keep saying over and over again the same thing over and over and over again. It's not necessary. And don't keep arguing with me. This is my channel. This is my chat. And if I say, I would rather you didn't do that, please respect that and don't do it. Because now you're starting to annoy me. And you don't want to annoy me. Because I will block you. And the quickest way to annoy me is to argue with me. Yeah. Backpedal, right. Talk about journaling, talk about art, that's fine. Don't keep spamming about stuff. And if it's not art related or journaling related or whatever, it doesn't belong in the chat. The rules are simple and finite. Okay. I've got a big gap over here, and I don't like having a big gap. So what am I going to do with the big gap? I might actually do a bit of journaling. Wow, that was fast, Mika. See, I told you, I warned you. I was about to do it, but Mika beat me to it. There you go. I warned you. Do not argue with me or the mods. End of story. End. The end. And don't keep making me repeat myself, because for the people who are watching this now, they're going to be annoyed. Because I'm constantly having to keep interrupting what I'm doing to tell you to be quiet. You don't get 3 times out in one session. You'll get removed. Okay. I have a big space here. Big space. Big space here. But it's also got a lot of crap on it that I can't really easily write on. So, and I don't feel like writing a lot, because if I write, that's the why I want to do this, because I don't want to write a lot. I want to write in my written journal when I want to write in my written journal. And this stuff, I don't want to... I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. I like to do lettering, so let's do some lettering. I'm already doing lettering, so let's do some more. Inspired. Hi, Doodlebug. By Hi, Bug. Hello, my dude. How you doing? Is it getting late and you want your dinner? Oh, we're going to have to stop soon. Burn! Look! I told you I'd find the perfect place for your sparrow sticker. Look. Super Sparrow, water bottle. I know that's going to appeal to your sense of humour. Bun's a class member-ish. You can tag her on Trello if you want to, and she'll see it eventually. Inspired by... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Where's the book gone? Where's the book gone? Scooby, have you seen the book? What have I done with it? Where'd the book go? Where did the book go? Where did the book go? It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not under here. It's not there. It's not there. What? Where did the book go, Boo? Where did my book go? Is it down there? Have you got it? No? You haven't got it. Okay. Where the chuffing heck? Oh, it's down there. Oh, I can't reach that. Okay, I've got the other one here. I'll use this one instead. Here we go. I need a big chunky pen. Copic gas infused. Oh yeah, you're on Discord as well, yeah. Did you send me this, Bun? I've got a... Sorry, itchy nose. I've got a Copic gas infused that's just appeared out of nowhere, and I didn't buy it because it's not on my Amazon list. But I also don't remember anybody sending me one either. And I'm wondering if you sent me one and I just didn't notice and it fell out of an envelope somewhere. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to do... Let's see, can we do... I'm not trying to forge Danny's signature. I'm just... It's such a well-known... His writing is so well-known, it will look like... There you go. It's close enough. Yes, I did used to be the one who wrote all the school notes to get everybody out of PE. I could forge anybody's handwriting given enough time. However, that's not what we're here for. Inspired by... Yeah, oh, I keep coming off the topic. Mary, to get back to the topic at hand. Yeah, Creative License. Danny Gregory's Creative License. If you haven't read it cover to cover and you own it, go and read it. Don't skip ahead. Don't just flip through and look at the pretty pictures. Just go and do it. Bun, you need to do a video on how the heck you managed to get your gel nails to last more than 2 days. Yours seem to grow out. Mine chip after a week, after a day. Look, gel nails aren't supposed to do this, so I must be doing something wrong. We need a video. Explain to us how to do it. Please. Please, I'm begging you. See, that already looks better. That writing already looks better just by going over it again. Inspired by Danny Gregory. I wish I hadn't done this here. This is kind of annoying. Oh, I know. Should I take my own advice? Tip when gluing down a sticky note, check which side the sticky is on and put the glue on the same side. There you go. Now I don't have to deal with that, do I? And how about if we do a box to write in? There we go. Give it a drop shadow, because everything looks better with a drop shadow. And now I've got somewhere to write. So that I won't do right now. I will do that after the session when I can think straight. But it will be something along the lines of, did this on YouTube today, trying to get back into loose, illustrative journaling, just doing whatever, whenever. Just doing a bit of this, bit of that. Thought this would be fun, trying to keep it simple so I can just pick up a pen and do it. And also about the idea that I've had for doing my history building things like this. Because I'm really into this and I like doing the research. And also I'm thinking if I don't get time to do the research, it's no big deal. Because there's plenty of days during the winter months where it's inclement out there and nobody wants to leave the house. Much less go outside and draw. If you're following the rules, you wouldn't keep getting into time out. You are on your third and final strike. There's only 3 minutes of the stream left. How about you see if you can manage to not get blocked before that? Yeah, this is 4 days old and it's already, I mean, I got big chips. I lost the tip of that one after a couple of hours. So obviously we're doing something wrong and you're not. So tell us, explain it. Thank you. Oh, you haven't been to the Saturday classes for ages, John. You know you can join over on Coffee now and just sign up for the Saturday classes if you want to. A lot easier than Patreon, although I think does it clash with when you're streaming? Yeah, I want to do more of this and I can research, you know, when I've got big spaces like this. Why doesn't that stick down? I thought I put glue on that. Bye. Oh, symphony practice, gotcha. Yeah, where I've got spaces like this, I can go back and do some more research when it's winter. Or when it's raining so hard I can't go out. Or when it's so hot that I am not stepping outside the door because, hello, redhead. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity to do research like that. And I can make general notes of what do I want to look up. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun to do that kind of thing. And add notes, add maps and things. But this is my jam at the moment. This is what I've been doing in my journal. Which I have now taken off public consumption. Like I say, I may share some of it over on Coffee, but it's not going to be widely distributed. By the way, if I say Coffee, I'm not sharing on Patreon a lot because Patreon is just the Patreon stuff. I don't share anything extra. But if you're in the When Frogs Sing class in the $15 group, you're on Trello. I usually post on Trello as well, or I post the link to Coffee on Trello. I'm posting it publicly. You don't have to be a paid member, but I just don't want to put everything everywhere, you know? And I would rather keep this sort of stuff separate from my art and art journaling. This is just kind of me playing with a pen. Does that make sense? I don't know. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm gonna do some writing in there, and I'm really happy with this. I like it. It still doesn't have enough depth on that one side. How can I add depth? Oh, I know how I can add depth to that one side. I can get this pen and I can put the dark bit in there on that strap like that. And that'll just add a bit of weight. There we go. Now it's added a bit of weight to that side. See, now it feels like it's a bit more framed. Now it feels complete. There was a big empty space over here before. Now it feels complete. There we go. That's better. I'm happy with that. So yes, Mary. That's what I'm doing this month, is going through Danny Gregory's creative license and doing this kind of just throw it on the page and see what sticks. In between other stuff that I'm working on, but that's getting back into my journal practice. I haven't journaled very much. I've done art journaling, like process type art journaling, but I haven't just done document type stuff, and I like this kind of stuff. I am going to do more of it. Oh, it's not my idea. It's not my idea. There's lots of people do this, but Danny Gregory is the one who's really inspired me to get on with this, you know. But this particular prompt, should you want to do the prompt, grab a bag of stuff, chuck it out on your desk, and draw your stuff as it sits on your desk. I mean, maybe move some of the bigger things to the back like I did. Empty your pencil case onto the table as well, kind of thing, instead of just drawing the pencil case full of stuff. And just draw. Just draw it. Start at the front, move to the back. Don't worry about perspective. Don't worry about, is it all going to fit on? Just draw it. That is your task, should you wish to accept it. I have no idea if you can post pictures in the answers in the replies on Coffee. That's not something I've figured out yet. I'm waiting for Burgess to post something over there so I can go and try it. Because you can't do it on your own. We'll figure it out. I don't know if you need to be a member or if you're on there or what. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But you can post links. So you can always post it somewhere and post a link. I think that's it for today. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to do my little bit of, well, I'm going to feed his nibs because he's snotting all over the side of my leg because he wants his dinner. Hi, Boo. I hear you. I know. He does this thing where he runs his snotty nose up and down my leg. It's not snotty, it's just cold and wet. But it feels like a snotty nose running up and down my leg. And that's how I know he wants to eat. And he's doing it at the moment. So, since we are 3 hours in? Whoa, 3 hour stream again, crikey. Okay, seems like we stream for 3 hours on a Wednesday then. Well, I'm going to stop there. Hi, Pen. Bye, Pen. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will be back next week. However, the weather is a bit iffy next week. My parents may or may not be coming up on Wednesday. The big problem is that we're scheduled with 3 days of storms next week, and so far it's changed from this morning. It said Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's gradually moved closer and closer and closer and closer. Hi, Dewey. Heather. Dewey. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, does it? I focused on the middle name. Dewey. It's gradually getting closer and closer and closer and closer. So now it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for storms. I'm hoping that my parents will be coming up Wednesday. And since I have a class on Thursday, that means I will stream Tuesday. But I don't know right now. I will know Tuesday. So keep your eyes open Tuesday. I will post, like I always do, everywhere. Yeah, I think Heather's been lurking. I think Heather was in lurk mode. Just popping in at the end to say hello. Sean. It's not Sean. It's Shorn. It's Shorn, the sheep. Okay? Shorn. He's my, oh my god, I'm claustrophobic sheep. He's awesome. Anyway. Yes. By Tuesday I will know what's happening. But it might be a late notice. So if you're following on Coffee, you'll see it there. If you're on Discord, you'll see it there because it'll go into notifications when I schedule it. If you want a notification on YouTube, hit the bell. Don't forget to subscribe. Can you believe I'm still on 11,933 followers? I got... Sorry, or 38. I don't understand YouTube's math, okay? At some point last week, I dropped right down to 820 something. Then it went back up to 933, which is what it started at. I've gained 14 followers. I've lost 3, and somehow that equals 938. YouTube's math is worse than mine. Like, I don't even understand it. But, you know. I'm determined to get to 12,000. I've been stuck on 11,900 and something for... It's got to be like 5 years. Because I hit 10,000 in 2013, I want to say. No, I hit 11,000 in 2013. I hit 10,000 in 2006. Why is it taking so long to get 25 people? Or 75 people? I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyway. I'm done. I need to stop now because I'm just waffling. Sometime next week I will be streaming, but I don't know when, is the short version. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you all again very soon. You were at 125? Oh, 225. Yeah. Oh, here's a great one. By Bun, who is way more popular than me, right? Like, generally, because she's a commercial artist. She does stickers and has an Etsy shop and stuff. People know her from, like, other places. She has, what, 15,000 subscribers? She's like 3,000 subscribers ahead of me, and she's been here almost as long as I have. Like, how does that make any sense? It's ridiculous. I don't worry about the numbers. I don't care about the numbers, but I would like to get to 12k. And I've been saying it for about 4 years. So how about this year we make it the year I get to 12k? Yeah? Can we do that? Just drag your friends over and say, here, follow this YouTube until it gets to 12k, and then you can unfollow. Oh, you're only on 12.2. I thought you were at 15. Oh, no, it's that Instagram, maybe. That's another one. I'm like, I've been 25 followers off 5,000 on Instagram for, I don't know, 3 years. No, but I won't, because in like 8 weeks, I've gained 5 subscribers, according to YouTube. I've gone from 933 to 938. The numbers don't add up. I'm telling you, the numbers do not add up. Anyway. Thanks for joining me, guys. Yeah, the replay is going to happen, and I will put the, like I say, I'll put the time codes as well. So if you want to skip to particular sections of it, you can do. For my zombie crew. Time codes will be below. And I actually am going this time. See you soon. Bye.